you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.
Oh wow, this is very, very cool track, isn't it? This is Volcam Dome from a band from Texas, Sunrise and Ammunition, and we have the singer Tyler Saucier and Chris, the drummer, and we have them here today to speak with us. Hello, guys.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having us, man.
Our pleasure. This is really, really cool. I notice the tempos. It's very interesting. This very intelligent music you have sent us this time, Volcam Dome. And why don't you take the floor and introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Tyler. I'm the singer. I'm also the guitar player.
I'm Chris Branson. I play drums and sing a little bit too. And then we're missing Chris Richardson, who also plays bass and sings a little, but he's with us in spirit.
Very good, very good. So a three-piece, like we said, from Texas, from Houston, I believe. And, tell us a little bit about these projects, Sunrise and Ammunition.
We've been a band for a really long time. We actually met when we were still in our 8th grade of school, and we were really close neighbors, and we became friends and started playing music together. So we've been playing together for about 14 years now. So we've been doing this for a really long time, and we've put out an album and done a few tours, and in the last few years, we started working on some more new music, and that's what this next EP is that we're going to be putting out. So that's what we're up to now.
Awesome, fantastic. So an EP. Did you tell me how many songs we're gonna get here, and also the title of this upcoming work, please?
So the EP is going to have 4 songs. We've already released 3 of them, so we just have one more we'll be putting out with the EP that should be coming out in March. And
all right,
the name of the EP is called Triangulum, which actually is referencing where we grew up or how our houses were aligned when we met, because they were in the shape of the constellation that the EP is going to be named after.
Oh wow, Triangulum. From your sound and the rhythms, the atypical changes, I would say, structures of a song. There's a lot behind. It seems that there's a lot of theory, and why don't you tell us about that? What's behind the music? What's fueling the inspiration?
I think we've always been really big fans of experimental rock music and progressive rock music, and usually the kind of bands that we've been associated with are considered like the math rock genre, although we don't really neatly fit into the math rock category. We consider ourselves like experimental or progressive rock, so we have a lot of influences like jazz and other kinds of music, and we just put it all together in one big melting pot. But we've always just been looking for music that excites us, you know, so that's why we're drawn to like somewhat complicated stuff. We're probably not the biggest shredders in the world, but we do enjoy like atypical feelings and just a little more intricacy, and it, you know, that's just how we've always been doing it.
I can tell. I mean, you can definitely hear this. I'm kind of like, I understand. I enjoy this type of music very much. Would you, and let's ask this one for the both of you, right? Do you feel, for example, I'm a big fan of Animals as Leaders and so on, other bands like that. Do you feel sometimes like you're making music for musicians?
Maybe incidentally, I guess. We make music, like Tyler said, that excites us, or listen to stuff like that. And I guess sometimes we want to challenge ourselves and make music that we're exploring ourselves. And I think when we can combine the two, when we come up with something we enjoy the sound of, but also feel like it's pushing our ability or what we've done before, that's what we usually try to go after.
Yeah, and my thoughts, well, first of all, I think that's a really interesting question, and I've definitely wondered that about myself, because it seems like if you just look at the people who like our music and come to shows, a lot of them are musicians, but that's not really our intention to make music only for musicians. But I think it's just kind of like Chris said, it's incidentally the case that musicians like our stuff because they can appreciate some of the more the finer details of what we're doing. But with all of that said, we do enjoy just like music that is not made for musicians. Like, you know, we're obviously big fans of the Beatles and stuff like that too. So we, even if most of our music is kind of like geared towards other musicians, we do try to have at least something in the music that is interesting, or I really like catchy melodies and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone, we hope.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think you have something. You have a good mix. You know, you have a bunch of links in your leaks on your song that are very catchy. You listen to your song and then you like walk away and start remembering like dan 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 and stuff like that, and also the melodies. So I think you're getting to a good mixing point in good equilibrium in terms of that. I really enjoy. I don't know if you know this band Elder, and it's also that you have enough to enjoy and to analyze, to make your brain work, but at the same time it's also enjoyable music. Anybody can listen to it, and I think you're getting to that you know, perfect balance, I would say.
Awesome.
So
great to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the production, how are you going about that? Are you all do it yourself? Do you have external help? How is it going?
We have basically been doing it ourselves for the entire time, although we have, you know, friends that we work together with. But recently, maybe as of the last 2 to 3 years, we've been working closer with so Alvaro has been a friend of ours for a while, but he's always been interested in his own music and the engineering side of things. And he started a record label recently. And so we're a part of that record label called Geodesic Records. and he's also got a nice studio up and running now. But we've been recording this EP with him we started recording a lot of songs a couple years ago.
Wonderful. Fantastic. So, all right. Again, we're listening to Volcam Dome on the background, and we have Sunrise and Ammunition. And again, so how are you finished with the EP, with the recording of the EP already?
Yeah, we finished recording it. We've been touching it up for the last year roughly, but we finished recording everything, and yeah, we're moving on to the next batch of songs.
Wonderful. And what are your, let's say that, you can design your ideal outcome, your ideal future, you're unable to fail whatsoever. What does that look like?
Well, I think we would just love to make the band sustainable, and we would love to be able to play live music and be able to just, at the very least, sustain our music making and be able to keep making the music that we want to make and not be so dragged down by everything else in life that's kind of preventing us from the creative side of things, because we'd probably be putting out a lot more music if we had the time and the resources, but so we're just hoping that with this new music coming out and the effort that we put in after this, that it will just let us make more music and just have creative freedom and sustain the band somehow.
Yeah,
freedom.
And
yeah. Trees, what about you, Trees?
Yeah, shows were a big part of our whole act in the past, and so COVID really messed that up, and so we're hoping that we'll be able to start playing more, and we feel like that's probably our best way to attract new fans. So if we can keep playing more and then expand slowly and keep putting out new music and recording now that we have the access to it, and just hopefully keep growing naturally from there to where we get to the point, like Tyler said, where we can eventually be sustaining ourselves with the music. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it's most is interesting. Most musicians, they don't ask, or I ask them this, what is your ideal future? It's rare, or maybe never, that I hear, okay, well, I want to be super famous and have millions and all that. It's mostly along the lines of your response. It's mostly, I just want to do my music and be able to live out of it, right? Have the creative freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a characteristic that defines a true musician, honestly. We just want to do our music and, of course, be able to live out of our talent, right? But not necessarily seeking, tremendous fame or anything like that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about this, and you can answer or not. But how are you able to, what do you do, what type of jobs do you do to be able to still continue to do your music on the side, and especially being able to dedicate the time that it requires so it doesn't become a hobby?
Yeah, that's tough. We've kind of done I've done a little bit of everything in a way, random jobs here and there in construction. And I've been attending university up until I graduated this last December. And so basically just taking the best opportunity that fits within your skill set or interests. And, hopefully it's enough to allow you to have the freedom and the resources to keep playing music. So it's a combination of, just having the opportunity.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I've been doing guitar lessons and working in the food industry. I've been liking doing guitar lessons because it's at least something I can do with the guitar in my hands. But even then, you know, you don't want to be playing Smoke on the Water for 3 hours straight. So it's, you know, not the most ideal situation. But yeah, we've just been finding little times in our day to make it work. You know, when we need to go record, like we'll do it before work or after work, and it's a real headache sometimes to make the schedules work, and it's like a sacrifice. You sacrifice your comfort, you know, of like going home after work and resting and choosing to do the thing that you love to do instead, and just a bunch of moments like that just kind of adding up, and it's always kind of a tough thing to figure out, but it's worth it in the end.
It is indeed. So along this, we'll use this as a segue. If you had an advice for your younger self, or for somebody who's like beginning or maybe struggling to be able to dedicate enough time to their passion, like what would you say?
I would say that you should pay attention to the things that make you feel the most excited and curious. And when you spend time learning things, like let's say, for example, you hear a song that it's a new style of music you've never heard before, and it just makes your curiosity peak. When you spend time learning that, it doesn't feel like work, and you actually grow a lot from following your curiosity and your interest like that. And that, like that, on top of that, you should look at what your strengths are. Like, do you like to focus on lyrics, or do you like to build soundscapes and like atmospheric sounds? Like, find out what your strengths are and like lean into that, and kind of just build on what you're already good at.
Yeah. To add to that, I would suggest, making friends, or with the friends you already have, to play along with other people, and also use them as like resources to find new music or genres and stuff that you may have not discovered if it weren't for them. And then another thing, whenever we started and we were younger, we were a little bit stubborn about the business side of it, and we just wanted to play music as much as we could, and it didn't matter. We didn't want to make music for like a poppy song or a catchy song that everybody wanted to hear. You know, we were really just trying to make music that we wanted to play. And so I would just say that as much as that maybe, I still think it's important to separate them if you have to, play the music the way you want to, but also consider the business side of it.
Absolutely. Nothing to add. I think these are very wise words. Okay, so again, thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Chris. It's been a real pleasure. I think, like I said at the beginning, you're doing very, very good music. This Vulcan Dome, and we'll be on the lookout for the EP Triangulum. This is Sunrise and Ammunition. Thank you very much, guys. That was fantastic. And really, all the best.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. It was a pleasure for us too, and we're happy to talk to you, man.
Likewise, thank you again, and we're going to enjoy a little bit more of Vulcan Dome by Sunrise and Ammunition. Let's go.
of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh. Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.